I am Coach Sess, motivated and determined, and you are listening to Words with a Mad Coach. You have to look at martial arts in basically six categories. And there could be more, but there's six that I've studied. And one is the actual combatives. That is your sky marshals, your police, your security guards, your bouncers, self-defense scenarios, the real fighting, poking in the eye, kicking in the groin, grabbing by the throat, trying not to be assaulted, murdered, want to make it home at night. That's the one scenario. That's one case for martial arts. And of course, the one that most people are familiar with is sport-oriented martial arts, performance-based martial arts. So you have jiu-jitsu competitions, you have judo, you have wrestling, you have boxing, you have MMA, you have taekwondo, point fighting. You have some version of a game that is being played, and that's another category. That's another umbrella. Then you have health, fitness, and wellness. That's another category. Some people take martial arts just to stay fit. So you see stuff like Tabo from, the 90s, and Kick Fit, Cage Fitness. That's popular now in the martial arts circles. Very similar to a CrossFit, but with a martial art twist to it. You have kickbox, 9 rounds. These are very popular, all about health, wellness, and fitness. Fourth category, principles and concepts. So you have people who aren't necessarily martial artists, but they take a martial art module and they use it for business. They use it for motivation. Some do it just for strategy, classical study. And you see this in motivational videos by people who are not martial artists. I saw one, I can't think of the guy's name, but he was talking about Mayweather and how Mayweather gets up and he trains and he gets himself ready, he spars, and he's dealing with different circumstances. And he's really trying to motivate the people that he's talking to so that they get an idea of what it's like to get yourself ready to be successful at whatever it is you're going to do. He's just borrowing that aspect of Mayweather's life and trying to use it, in a conceptual way to motivate them to get up and write that paper, get up and prepare your meals and go make those business calls and hand out your business card and make those cold calls, just using it in a conceptual way. Next category is definitely the one that most people can kind of get with, and that is the hybrid. And in the hybrid, you kind of borrow elements from all of them to not so much as to make your own martial art, so to speak, but it's all about just trying to explore your own martial journey, your own martial, trying to find a category for yourself. And that can be done, these people that tend to fall into this category, you could say they're eclectic, but for the most part, what it is that they really haven't found a martial art that fits them. They haven't found an instructor that fits them. So they tend to dabble and, they do a little self-defense for 6 months, then they play around with sport for a little while, then they kind of do their own thing, go off into some knife fighting, stick fighting. There's no real pattern to what they do. So I don't want to confuse what they're doing with mixed martial arts or Jeet Kune Do or Kaju Kinbo, something that's more established. What they do is really dabble, but they have a good feel for what martial arts are. And Then the last category is the curriculum-based martial artist. And this is the person who studies martial arts just for cultural reasons. They want to attain a black belt. They want to teach. They want to understand what it is to be a good coach. Not necessarily competing themselves, but they just want to understand all these different elements of a particular martial art. They want to understand the history. They want to understand the progress and developmental phase of the martial art. How did we go from, you take judo, how did we go from 40 throws to 65 throws? How did we go from a, classroom art, so to speak, to a Olympic sport? So those are basically, the 6 classifications that I have for martial arts.